When I retire, will I be able to count on Social Security? It's a reasonable question. I hear it a lot from clients. Like them, you've probably seen the recent headlines about the program, full of ominous predictions, potential insolvency, the crisis is coming, fund to run dry. You might be thinking, hold on, I've paid into this system my whole working life. And now that I'm eligible for benefits, you're saying it won't be there for me? What's the deal? I'm Mike McCulloch, a certified financial planner. Welcome back to Glad You Asked, our channel on making the most of your retirement. Today, we'll take a hard look at this deal between you and the Social Security program, which you enter into when you earn income in the US. We'll discuss why Social Security was established, the current state of the program and how it got there, potential reforms, what your benefits will look like when you retire, and how to plan for future changes. Before we jump in, a little spoiler. The doomsayers may have a point, but all is not lost. Social Security is unlikely to disappear. The question is less about whether it will continue and more about how it might change. And while we can't predict the future with certainty, there are tools to help us make an educated guess, even about individual benefits. We'll get to that soon. But first, why does the program exist? Social Security was established in one of the most dire periods of the last century, the Great Depression. Poverty was widespread then, especially among older Americans. Many had lost their life savings in the market crash and its aftermath. Only a tiny share of seniors, as few as 3%, received any kind of state pension. People past their working years had to rely on family and friends, and multi-generational households were common. Think of the Joad family in The Grapes of Wrath. In 1935, Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into law with broad bipartisan support from Congress. The new program, FDR said, would, quote, give some measure of protection to the average citizen and to his family against the loss of a job and against poverty-ridden old age. The idea behind it was straightforward. As you work, payroll taxes are deducted from your wages, which are used to support the system. Today, an estimated 184 million people in the U.S. pay into Social Security. More than 69 million Americans collect payments from the program, as do millions more survivors and people with disabilities. With so many beneficiaries, Social Security is essential not only to people's livelihoods, but to the economy at large. But it's confronting real challenges. The main threat has to do with the program's trust funds. Those reserves are managed by the Social Security Administration, and they're expected to run out in less than a decade. Projections vary slightly, but they all agree that costs, meaning payments going out to recipients, will far exceed revenue or money coming in from workers. It sounds bad, but what does this mean for the program's future? Even if the trust funds are depleted, Social Security is projected to continue paying a significant portion of scheduled benefits through payroll taxes. It will still be financed by payroll taxes from people in the labor force. Those taxes are coming in right now, albeit at amounts below what's needed to replenish the funds. Without reserves to make up the difference, payroll taxes alone won't be enough to pay out full benefits. In that scenario, cuts are inevitable. If no remedial measures are taken, starting around 2033, you'll receive only about 77% of benefits that you qualify for today. There are possible solutions to this problem. Before we get to those, though, you may be wondering, after 90 years, how did this beloved program, which has an almost 90% approval rating, end up here? The short answer, America's demographics have changed, but the program hasn't kept up. Two population trends are squeezing the system from both ends. Number one, people are living longer now. And number two, fewer people are entering the workforce than in the past. On the first trend, lifespans in the US have increased steadily over the last century. The average in the US today is 78 years, compared to 61 in the 1930s. And look at the boom in centenarians. This is a great development, not least because many of us have enjoyed the company of grandparents for many years, even decades. This wasn't at all common 90 years ago, but longer lives mean the program has to issue more payments for more years. The second trend is the decades-long decline in birth rates. You've heard of the worldwide baby bust. It isn't as bad in the US as elsewhere, but the drop is still striking. In 1950, there were 25 births in the US for every 1,000 people. Today, that number is 12 for every 1,000. This means fewer people entering the workforce, producing less in payroll taxes to support the system. These changes are dramatic. But for all the drama, there haven't been adequate adjustments to compensate. In the 90 years since Social Security was started, the age at which we can collect full benefits has increased only 2 years, from 65 to 67. That's right. While the average American lifespan has jumped by 17 years, the age of eligibility has barely budged. In 1950, there were around 17 workers for every Social Security beneficiary. By 1960, that ratio had shrunk to 5 workers per recipient. Today, it's less than 3 to 1. It's like pulling planks from a Jenga tower. The more holes in the base, the more the whole thing wobbles. The question is, how do we reinforce the tower? There's no getting around it. To shore up Social Security, tax increases, changes to eligibility, or a combination of the two need to happen. The program is simply too essential, both for retirees and for the economy at large, for us to simply shrug and walk away. The good news is there are several potential remedies. They include increasing the payroll tax. Today's payroll tax is 12.4%, divided between employer and employee. The Congressional Budget Office, or CBO, has gamed out what raising it by 1 or 2 points would bring in. But there's also talk of hiking it to 17% to make up for the shortfalls. Number 2, lifting the payroll tax limit. Almost all earners pay into Social Security, but only up to a point. Income over $176,100 in 2025 is not subject to the payroll tax. Raising this limit, or even getting rid of the cap altogether, would generate more revenue. Number 3, raising the full retirement age. As lifespans keep growing, the number of payments does too. Increasing the age of eligibility for full benefits from 67 to 69 would be one way to adjust for this. Number 4, introducing means testing. Currently, all citizens and qualified non-citizens who have paid into the program can collect once they're eligible. Means testing would shrink payments for wealthier retirees, the idea being that they are less in need. Number 5, altering benefits calculations. Changes to how benefits are determined could also yield savings. Reducing payments for spouses and upping the number of working years in the calculation are 2 ways to do that. So there are options to fix Social Security. That fix may ultimately consist of some combination of these approaches. There's one other component to this. It may be harder to come by. I'm talking about the political will to actually legislate reform. It's easy to be cynical or even hopeless about that prospect, but true reform involves tough decisions. If it were otherwise, everything would be running smoothly and we'd have nothing to talk about. Many proposed reforms could lead to reduced benefits for future retirees. While the exact impact is unknown, it's wise to plan for the possibility of receiving less than currently scheduled benefits. And that will be a real jolt, given how much we rely on the program. In 2025, of the 69 million Americans collecting Social Security, more than half of them, 38 million people, say the payments make up at least 50% of their monthly income. 16 million have no other income. For millions of people, those monthly checks are covering basic expenses like rent, groceries, and utilities. There are always trade-offs, though, because failure to bolster the program soon could mean more drastic cuts. Again, that's 23% of current benefits for even more retirees next decade. So while there may be reluctance among legislators to make the necessary changes, there's also an incentive for them to avoid the worst. If you're lucky enough that the cuts cause you no worry, that's great. But even so, wouldn't you like to know what they'll look like? We don't have to speculate. There are several online resources to help you estimate your future Social Security benefit. The agency's website offers an easy-to-use quick calculator, which needs only a few pieces of information to ballpark your monthly payment. For our case study, let's take a 55-year-old whose earnings in 2025 will total $400,000. On the calculator page, enter your birth date, then input your earnings this year. The last data point is your planned date of retirement. You're only eligible for full benefits once you reach age 67. Let's say our 55-year-old wants to retire on her 67th birthday in April 2037. You have the option to select your benefit in today's dollars or future dollars based on inflation projections. Then hit Submit Request. The next page shows your expected monthly benefit. If our 55-year-old retires on her 67th birthday, her monthly benefit will be $4,088 in today's dollars. Keep in mind, this is a rough estimate. The site makes assumptions about your past year-by-year earnings in order to produce the projected benefit. Those assumptions may not be accurate, but you can adjust the figures. You can also go on ssa.gov and create an account to see your personalized projected report. Now that we have a figure to work with, what does the worst case scenario look like? Recall that without reforms, benefits will be reduced by about 23%. You'll receive only about 77% of what would have come your way if the trust funds hadn't run out. In that case, our 55-year-old would receive an estimated monthly payment of about $3,148. Finally, one more step. Say our 55-year-old's retirement will be 20 years. That's how long the TIAA Institute expects the median worker has as of today after leaving the workforce. So that's 12 monthly payments per year times 20 years. At the current benefit level, $4,088 a month times 12 months a year times 20 years equals about $981,000. And at the worst case level, with about 77% of benefits payable, that equals about $755,000. The upshot? On the current path, our 55-year-old will take in $225,000 less, not adjusted for inflation, than she would have if the trust funds hadn't gone dry. That's nearly $250,000. And the odds are that even with reform, she won't receive that $981,000. The task for reformers is finding the best possible compromise between maintaining current benefit levels and ensuring the overall health of the system going forward. In any case, systemic reform requires collective action. There's only so much that you as an individual can do to influence it. What you can do is prepare yourself. Based on our conversation today, we know that future cuts to benefits are likely. So you might be looking for ways to get your benefits sooner rather than later. A client recently asked me exactly this. Instead of waiting until 67 when he'd qualify for full benefits, why shouldn't he withdraw them sooner at 62? That's the earliest age at which you can start to collect. This might seem logical, but there are a few reasons to wait if you can afford it. Number one, Social Security is expected to continue in some form, even if legislative reforms take time to materialize. Payroll taxes will finance most benefits, even if the trust funds run out. Moreover, it's critical to the economy, and voters love it. Given its widespread popularity, Social Security has long received bipartisan support, making it unlikely to be eliminated. Number two, if you elect to receive benefits starting at age 62, the agency reduces what it pays you by 0.5% per month until your full retirement age. For my client, that means he'd only get 70% of the benefits he would receive if he'd held off for 5 more years. Number three, waiting to collect benefits until your full retirement age increases your benefits up to age 70. Holding off until then will increase your monthly payment. This might not make sense for everyone, but depending on your situation, there may be alternatives to taking benefits early, and alternatives may well become more necessary given the likelihood of benefit cuts. Consider the following. Number one, personal savings. Setting aside even small sums on a regular basis can help you down the road. Number two, withdrawals from 401k or other retirement accounts. The typical age for penalty-free withdrawals is 59.5. Your advisor may be best positioned to guide you on this. Number three, keep working. You may love your current job and want to stay in it past 62, or maybe you're eager to leave. Even if that's the case, other full or part-time roles could provide income. The point is, if you want to maximize your Social Security benefits, it's worth at least thinking about where else you can draw income from. Just by watching this video, you're in a select group because you're actually thinking about planning for your retirement. In a recent survey, only 39% of those polled said they have a financial plan for their post-working years. Even fewer know how long their retirement is likely to be. Remember, the current median estimate is 20 years of retirement. That's 2 decades without work income. For 90 years, Social Security has supported retirees, and it's projected to continue doing so based on current estimates. But it just so happens that now, after almost a century, the program's at a precarious moment. Major reforms must be made or major cuts to benefits are coming. However long your retirement will be, I want to help you prepare for all scenarios. Social Security can be one component of your financial future, but it may not cover all of your needs. Planning now can help reduce anxiety and ensure you enjoy your retirement, not fret over it. Thanks for watching today's episode of Glad You Asked. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Until next time.